Alright, I was watching a YouTube video by the user named Ferrecci, Ferechhi. He's a cool guy from Germany, makes good videos about various topics. He's an atheist. Check him out if you have time. And he got me to thinking. He was talking about conspiracy theorists and stuff, and beliefs and objectivity, and I was thinking that I try as much as possible, whenever possible, to be as objective as possible. And I know that no person can ever be 100% objective all the time. In fact, it's impossible to be objective almost ever because we're always inside of our own heads and we can't get outside of our own heads to see things from a uh, external perspective. We're always bogged down by our own feelings and emotions and preconceived notions. But one of the things that can give you real insight into the nature of your own subjectivity and show you how much we blur the lines is an exercise by Robert Anton Wilson in his book Prometheus Rising, which is an excellent book. Um, in case you haven't noticed, people, when you hold preconceived notions, religious beliefs, metaphysical beliefs, philosophy, whatever you believe, no matter what it is, if you're a young Earth creationist, if you believe that there's a giant black dragon behind the moon, you will be able, at least in your own mind, to find evidence in support of your beliefs. It doesn't matter what you believe, because that's what the brain does. To quote Robert Anton Wilson, he says, whatever the thinker thinks, the prover proves. And he's talking about the human mind split into two divisions. You have the thinker, and then you have the prover. You have the part of your mind that does the thinking. This is the part of your mind that determines, what am I going to believe? What are my beliefs? Am I going to be a Christian or a Muslim or an atheist? And then whenever you decide to believe, whether it be theism or atheism or nothing, there's the other part of your mind, which is the prover, which will kind of subconsciously and automatically look for evidence that is supportive of your preconceived notions. That's how the brain works. For example, if your wallet is gone missing and you have a theory, for some reason you have a hunch that your best friend Tom stole your wallet, even though you have no real evidence to think that he stole your wallet, but you have this hunch, and say you go hang out with Tom, you're going to be looking for cues in the way he's talking, and you're going to find evidence to support your preconceived notion that Tom stole your wallet, if you really believe it. You'll pick up on little cues, and you'll notice things that you didn't notice before. And if you believe it enough, you'll find evidence everywhere for your claims. This is why creationists and Scientologists are able to believe such wacky stuff, because in their own minds, they see the evidence. And this leads into the whole placebo effect that is used in medicine, where you can give people a sugar pill and tell them that it's a new medicine designed to get rid of headaches, and they could have a terrible migraine. And for a good portion of the people doing the trial, they'll take the sugar pill, they'll say, wow, my headache's gone, this is a miracle. And of course, it's just a sugar pill. It didn't do anything to get rid of their headache, but they really believed that it would. So belief has a huge effect. We know this. Huge effect. The stronger we believe something, even no matter how false it is, we will subjectively find evidence out there in the real world to support our preconceived notions. That's how the brain works. And Robert Anton Wilson, he gives this exercise to kind of shed light on the nature of his thesis that what the thinker thinks, the prover proves. And no matter what you believe, you'll find evidence for it. And it's kind of hard to just, put on a new set of beliefs like you put on a new hat uh, and try this experiment. So he recommends something small. One day when you wake up, you could write this all down in a journal if you want, but one day when you wake up, tell yourself that today you're going to find a quarter on the ground. You're going to find money on the ground. Before you come home at night that same evening to go to bed, you will come home with some quarters that you found on the ground. And then go out and during your day, as much as possible, keep in mind the experiment and try to stay conscious of the idea as much as you can that you will find a quarter. And you can tell yourself whatever you'd like about why you'd find the quarter. You can tell yourself that it's God's will that you're meant to find quarters on the ground that day. You can tell yourself that it's absolute random chance. You can tell yourself that it's destiny or it's karma or something like that. Or you can tell yourself that it's magic, that because you're thinking about it, you're making the coins materialize into existence. I hope that made sense. But the point is, one day, go out there and keep in mind, I'm looking for a quarter. I'm going to find a quarter on the ground. And go out there into the world, do whatever you do on a normal day. And I've tried this before, and I know other people have tried it, and I guarantee you will come home with at least 5 to 10 quarters that day, because you have this preconceived notion that you're meant to find a quarter that day. And so subconsciously or consciously, your mind will be looking out. And of course, there's quarters all over the ground. We just don't notice them because we're not looking. But when you make yourself intentionally look for the quarters, when you have the belief there, when you have the thoughts there that I'm going to find a quarter, the prover part of your mind that looks to find evidence for your preconceived notions will pay more attention, and you will come home with a handful of quarters. And you can try this a few days in a row if you'd like. You can tell yourself one day that I'm going to find quarters because I believe in the power of the mind, and I'm going to will them into existence. The next day you can tell yourself, I'm meant to find quarters because it's God's will, and if I find quarters, this is proof to me that God exists, or something like that. The point is to have different nuances for each day surrounding your belief about why you're meant to find the quarters. The point being that at the end of the day, you will have proved a different set of beliefs right on each occasion. On day one, you tell yourself, I'm meant to find the quarters, it's my karmic destiny. You will, in your own mind, prove karma right because you found the quarters. The next day, tell yourself that it's just random, that they're out there and it's just me paying attention, and you'll find quarters that day, and you will have proved kind of atheism right, that it's just paying attention to something that you usually don't pay attention to. But do it. Try it one day if you can. It doesn't require a lot of time. Go out there, tell yourself you're going to find a bunch of quarters, and make up whatever reason you like for why you will find these quarters. And you'll go out there and you'll notice things that you don't usually notice, and you'll find a bunch of quarters. I guarantee you will. And this sheds light on the nature of human subjectivity. We all have beliefs. We all have preconceived notions. We start with the belief. See, science and good thinking and philosophy tries to do the opposite. It tries to get rid of all subjectivity, all preconceived notions, all beliefs, and says, well, let's go out into the world and see what we can do first. Let's look at the facts first. And then when we collect all the facts, then let's decide what we should believe about the facts. Most of us operate the other way around. For whatever reason. Maybe we were raised a Christian, maybe we had a profound experience as a teenager and it converted us to Hinduism or Buddhism, and then we decide, okay, I'm going to believe this, usually with not a whole lot of reasons to believe, we just want to. People believe things because they want to believe them. And then we go out there in the world and we find evidence and facts in support of the things that we already believe, and conveniently usually ignore all the mountainous evidence to the contrary. So just try that. Try the thing with the quarters, and it should give you insight into your own beliefs, whether you're a Christian or a Hindu or an atheist, or whether you believe the earth is flat. It should show you that if you have a set of beliefs that you believe strongly, when you go out there into the world on a daily basis, you're going to find evidence in support of your beliefs, not necessarily because your beliefs are true, but because you're looking for it, because that's the way the brain operates, because you decided to have these preconceived notions. Now the other part of your brain is doing its job of looking for evidence in support of what you believe and ignoring all the rest. That's one of the exercises that's always helped me to try to stay in line when I'm making bold claims of belief, and ask myself, am I doing this, am I seeing evidence for what I believe because I want to, because I'm looking for it, or because it's really there? And does the evidence necessarily support my beliefs, or do I just think it does? I don't know, just an idea. Peace.